I want you to do something for me right now. It's simple. Just hold your breath for 5 seconds. Listen to the quiet that fills your ears when the sound of your own breathing stops. That soft, cottony silence. It feels empty, doesn't it? Peaceful, even. I thought that too. For 38 years, I believed silence was nothing. Now, I know it's the opposite. Silence isn't the absence of sound. It's the presence of something listening. And it only takes one wrong breath in the wrong quiet place to invite it in. This isn't a ghost story. Ghosts were people, and people can be reasoned with. What I'm about to describe is older than people. It's the thing that taught us to fear the dark before we even had a name for fear. It lives in pauses. It feeds in the gap between a heartbeat and the next. And once you understand how to hear it, it hears you back.
It all started in the most mundane place imaginable. My bathroom. 3 weeks ago, on a Tuesday morning, I was shaving. The water was running. My wife, Elena, was making breakfast downstairs, and my son Leo was practicing his recorder, that thin, reedy screech only a 10-year-old can produce. The house was full of noise, life noise, the safe kind. I turned off the tap to hear something Elena was calling up about toast, and in that instant the house fell in a brief, accidental silence. The recorder stopped. The clatter downstairs paused. A normal lull. But in that lull, I felt a pressure in my ears, the way you feel when a storm is coming. My reflection in the fogged mirror seemed to sharpen, just for a moment, the eyes holding a focus that I wasn't holding in my actual face. I stared, but it was just me, tired, middle-aged. I laughed it off. That pressure didn't leave. It followed me through the day like a phantom hand cupped gently over my right ear.
The next incident happened 3 days later. I was reading in bed, Elena asleep beside me. The house was still. And then it wasn't. I heard my son's voice, not from his room, from inside the wall next to our bed. A muffled, conversational murmur. I put my ear to the plaster. It was Leo's voice, but it was backwards. A reversed recording of a child's speech, all the intonation of a question, but no words I could pass. I ran to his room. He was asleep, peacefully, his recorder on the pillow beside him. I picked it up and blew gently. No sound came out. Not because it was broken, but because the air in the room seemed to swallow the noise before it could form. The silence in his doorway was thick, almost gelatinous. That's the horror of curiosity. It looks like control. I bought a digital audio recorder. I started leaving it in empty rooms overnight. The first night, nothing. The second night, a sound. At 2:47 a.m., something exhaled. Not a snore, not a house settling, a deliberate, shaped exhalation from a point exactly 3 feet from the microphone. I took the file to a friend, a sound engineer named Marcus. When he sped it up 10,000%, we didn't get a voice, we got a rhythm, a code. Marcus described it as sounding like a choir of insects singing a psalm in a cathedral made of meat. He asked me never to bring anything like that to him again.
Wednesday night, I was alone. It was raining. At 1:33 a.m., The sound of the rain changed. It became rhythmic, a percussive, wet drumming that spelled out that impossible insect code on my windows. Then the power went out. In the absolute silence that followed, the sound of my own breathing was terrifyingly loud. And then I noticed it was the only breathing in the house. No, that's not right. There were two. I was breathing, and something in the kitchen, standing next to my running audio recorder, was breathing in perfect mirrored synchronization with me, inhaling when I inhaled, exhaling when I exhaled, a perfect mocking duet. I whispered, "Who's there?" The breathing stopped. A pause that lasted a lifetime. Then my own voice answered me from the kitchen. Not an echo, a reply. "Here." The darkness in the kitchen doorway began to condense. It was a three-dimensional hole in reality. It leaned down, its featureless hollow of a face stopping an inch from my ear, and it inhaled, not air. It inhaled a memory, the memory of my son's laughter at his 5th birthday party. I felt it detach from my mind and disappear into that void. The face was just blank. The thing whispered, "More. Give more."
That's the horror. There was no final battle. The entity didn't leave. It reached an accommodation. It feeds on the quiet, sacred moments, the lullabies, the pauses between "I love you," the stillness before sleep. I could try to fight it, but I'm not going to, because that thing told me the truth. I can't protect Leo from silence. No one can. So I have chosen to feed it something else. Every night when my family sleeps, I sit in my study. I generate a silence, a deep sacrificial quiet, and I offer it a memory, a workplace triumph, a college romance, my mother's face. I'm becoming hollow, but Leo's laughter, I kept that memory. It's the fuel that lets me do this. I am a threshold now, a guardian at the gate. The thing is with me right now, standing behind my chair, reading these words as I write them. It breathes with me. It waits. And the next time you find yourself in a quiet room, hold your breath. Listen to the silence. That weight you feel, that's not nothing. It's not your scream it wants. It's your lullaby.